that we'll obviously see in real time your participation. There are two items for you to note at the same time. First, it's for all ministers and the heads of delegation that are with us to advise that the afternoon will continue with a Caribbean ICT ministers meeting entitled State of the Caribbean Cyber Resilience, Securing a Digital Future. All ministers and advisors attending this meeting, you are kindly asked to assemble in the boardroom, which is at the top of the staircase on the right-hand side before you descend the stairs at the end of the aisle in order to participate, to receive your transport to go. So Mr. Trevor Privat and Ms. Michelle Garcia of the CTU will guide you to the executive transport, and you will be escorted to the CTU, the ICT meeting, ministers meeting. You're kindly asked to be at the boardroom promptly at 12:30 p.m. for your departure. That's item one. 12:30 p.m., top of the steps, room on your right. It's labeled the boardroom. Item two, there has been a high level of engagement throughout the two-day session. And would you believe that we want to recognize a few people for their quality of engagement? So I'll kindly ask on Rodney Taylor and Karina Coburn to join us on stage for a minute, please. You will have some presentations to make shortly. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to advise you that the number of persons who got involved in what could be considered quality engagement during the time, and this is to give a recognition to the top 5 most engaged participants for the last day and a half. And they are as follows. Deputy PS Ministry Digital Transformation, Corey Belfort. DPS, are you here? Yes. We'll allow one at a time. So Karina will make the presentation to you, DPS, in recognition of the level of your engagement and participation. Imagine that. Congratulations. It is. And it is autographed by Sim Sickert, so congratulations. There you go. Number 1. Not to be left out was the Chief Executive Officer of iGov TT, so we invite Inshan Mirjan, who is not with us today, but will deliver his presentation. Karina, you might stay nearby, please. Also third, and Karina, you may do this one as well, is the Honorable Minister Lennox Andrews of Grenada for his engagement. So Minister, please join us. Congratulations. So that's fair. Karina, you got to do 2 of the ministers and 2 of our recipients. Congratulations. And thank you, Minister. And thank you, Karina. Great, so you got that. Now I'll ask Rodney to assist with the final 2. Yes, please. Yes. And third on the list is the Permanent Secretary from St. Lucia's Department of Infrastructure, Ports and Transport, Ms. Lynette Joseph. Congratulations. Well, this is good. Good timing. Congrats. There you go. Great, we got those. Thank you, Lynette. And finally, our top 5, in the top 5, would you believe, is a gentleman who coincidentally happens to have an autographed copy of Sim Sickert's book, but this means that he now has 2, is the Minister of Digital Transformation, Senator the Honorable Hasselbachus. You did it. Congrats. Here we go. Thank you. So thank you, Rodney. Thank you, Karina. Thank you, Minister. Appreciate your assistance in this regard. Right, it's time for closing remarks. And once we've delivered the closing remarks, I will formally close the proceedings, and then we may retire for lunch. So please welcome the National Chief Digital Officer, Ministry of Digital Transformation, Trinidad and Tobago, to deliver the closing remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, we greet Mr. Wendell Mitchell.
Good day, everyone. All protocols observed, honorable ministers and distinguished attendees. It's the unenviable task standing between you and lunch, so I'll attempt to be brief. And the engagement in the past day and a half, as ministers said, we have deliberated and shared expertise and experiences and successes and challenges. And we have explored these discussions in three main areas in terms of digital transformation, and that would be cybersecurity, as we would have voted on in the declaration, technological infrastructure, and digital ID and interoperability. And in there, we've come up with concrete opportunities and actions and have agreed upon these actions, which when pursued will result in a meaningful advancement of the individual countries and the Caribbean as a whole. And this is going to lay the much needed groundwork for Caribbean integration and interconnection. So we're very pleased with a lot of the excellent work that was shared. And this would not have been done without astute leadership, collaboration, and partnership. So we thank everyone for their collaboration, their partnership, the ideas, the wonderful ideas that have been shared. And definitely the Caribbean diaspora will benefit from much of what has been said here today, as we have agreed to leverage our collective strength and resources and expertise to drive digital innovation, integration, and increase our competitiveness, not just as countries, but as a region. And in seeking to give life to regional ICT-enabled space, and indicative of moving, some person said, and Mr. Lee Hunt would have talked about taking a step and momentum. And we've committed to do that, take positive action, and to echo what Minister Bacchus always says to us, or he would have said, we've committed to building a vibrant, inclusive, and sustainable digital Caribbean ecosystem in which digital transformation is identified as a strategic and necessary element for the Caribbean to flourish in the 21st century. So in closing, on behalf of the government of Trinidad and Tobago, through the Ministry of Digital Transformation, the Inter-America Development Bank, and the Caribbean Telecommunications Union, I extend sincere thanks for the vibrant discourse and sterling contributions, and know that these executive sessions have laid the groundwork for continued dialogue and action among regional stakeholders. I wish you all safe travels back to your respective countries and homes. Thank you.
Wendell, not to interrupt, but just to say one thing to the audience. I wanted to say it and I forgot. And it speaks specifically to a mantra. I thought that was what Wendell was going to say, that I give and I preach it every day to my staff. Waiting is not an action. Waiting is not an action. Coming out from this, there will be very little waiting. We will start doing. Thank you, Wendell.
Thank you, Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, in order for me to have had the good fortune of standing and leading the proceedings and keeping the program going for the last year and a half, I want you to be fully aware that there has been a tremendous powerhouse of combined skills and talents from the Ministry of Digital Transformation, the IDB, and the CTU, making it possible just for everything to look smooth. But that's what we do. We commit and we deliver. And thanks to the technical team that, of course, has kept the connectivity and all of the various sessions going. And whilst I see that perhaps this is this a media colleague that's also here recording? So I'll as well, yes? So it's considering that that's being covered, I'll refrain from one of the comments I was going to say. But basically, just to let you know, Thomas Paine and General Patton would have been quoted in one way, form, or fashion for the phrase, lead, follow, or get out of the way. We have an opportunity from this remarkable engagement to lead. We also have an opportunity to build a band of followers that can succeed us thereafter. And where there are obstacles, we have now the commitment and the resolution, in more ways than one, to get problems and obstacles out of the way. Lunch is served. For those attending the meeting this afternoon, have a good engagement. And for all others, thank you for your quality participation for the last day and a half. Good day to you. Thank you.
Recording stopped.